capturing buildings that are still usable and making them inhabitable again.
Right.
And then also filling in some of the empty lots with beautiful builds like you do that match the neighborhood. That's like number one. Two, the store is very, very important. And I know it's time that it has to expand and maybe like large items are in a different warehouse and lighting and plumbing and fixtures are in here. But I've heard about talk that the store could go away, and it's so important. There's not a lot of business activity there. And it's so important to be here, not far away. This is where we need activity and people doing something. As far as us all working together, a lot of the churches that are allowed to be non-profit, tax-free, I think it's very important. People should go places to worship, but I don't feel like they're doing much for the community.
Right.
They go there, they worship, they leave.
Right.
I don't think I would be very welcome at some of these churches.
Right.
And that's interesting to me. That's something,
Right.
but it's a larger thing. But getting people involved in, I mean, this trash that's everywhere.
Right.
And here we have a storm that just happened, and there's lots of leaf litter, and yet the city doesn't have an initiative to come out and clean up the gutters after a big storm.
Right. Even though they have signs up that says no parking street sweeping.
Right. Which I never see on my street, but I got a ticket on the other street for the street sweeper. But anyways, the garbage thing and getting more of these and that they're taken care of and that people in the community know that it's not okay to litter and making it more of just a habit that we put things in their place.
We talked about earlier. People get into the habit of just throwing it over their shoulder, right?
Yes. And the quality of life that comes from that. When your kids are out playing and walking down the street and not around that.
Right.
It's very sad that kids have to play in that.
That here is kind of
Yeah. And there's worse things. I mean, over on our chambers and our studio, I mean, the stuff that you find is not only biohazard, and it's not even a joke, it's like biohazard material that sits there for weeks and weeks and weeks. Very, very unsafe, and then there's kids playing with it.
So what motivates you to clean up the streets?
The aesthetic, and I don't want the litter going into the river. People have worked very diligently to clean up the estuary, which is a very important resource for wildlife, and it's had centuries of abuse. And just the simple fact that it's my neighborhood and I take pride in it, and I don't want anyone, those of us that live here and the kids playing and visitors to come and see like, oh, no one cares, look at the filth they live in. I don't really, not that I care what other people think, but I don't want to see this every day I walk out my door.